Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the semester. I hope you had a good break and are now ready to get back to work. My name's Charlie Border. I'll be your professor in this class, and I think you'll find it an interesting class. It's not a particularly difficult class, but it does take a lot of work. There's a lot of different assignments. We're going to zoom through a whole bunch of material really quickly, but then we're going to get to an interesting project that I hope that you'll have a fun time with. And I hope you'll get a chance to try out some technologies and try out some ideas that can then be used as you work toward your capstone requirement and your ultimate career goals. I mean, that's one of the things I really like about this course, particularly if you're interested in analytics, is that this is a great place to look at not only transactional kind of database operations, and we're going to talk mostly about relational databases, but also analytic databases, and we're going to use probably one of the best analytic databases, and probably one that you'll use in your career for your class project, and that's Google's BigQuery. And BigQuery is awesome. It's totally cool. You're going to have a great time working with it. It's very accessible. I think you're going to have a good time with it. So anyhow, welcome to the class. And let's see, what have I got for announcements? Well, we're going to use my courses for all of the distribution of course kind of requirements and stuff, and collecting things and everything, with one big exception, and that's our zybook. Now, the zybook I think you're really going to like, because I use it in lots of my classes, and the feedback that I get from students is pretty much universally positive. But the neat thing about the zybook is that it puts all of the information that you need to get through it right at your fingertips, and you can just kind of work your way through this thing, and it kind of covers the first half of the class, but then we'll get into BigQuery kind of things after that. So my courses is going to be the primary location for all your course information and documentation and posting things, with the exception of the zybook. The zybook is going to have a whole bunch of different assignments in it, and you'll get a chance to work with that. And let's see, I think I can show you that right here. So here's the zybook that we have for our class, and here's the name that it will appear under in the zybook. I've posted all of this stuff for you. It's in the, no, we're not going to do that. This is how you'll get to the zybook, and the URL to remember is this learn.zybooks with an S on the end .com, and if you forget the S on the end, you get taken to some crazy hack job website that it looks like they're trying to fake people out and make them think that they're on the zybooks site, but they're not. But they don't try very hard, so you'll see it right away. So it's not a problem. This is all posted in my courses, so you can sign up for this. You'll notice that the subscription fee is $80. There's no way around it. We're going to use the zybook and its assignments, and we're going to use them for use the zybook itself for all of these different assignments. And so here's your first assignment, and it's due on Friday night, and it's called a PA, which is it just blanked on it. It is a participation activity. I just got performance in my mind, but that's not it. It's a participation activity. And where'd it go? It should be here somewhere. And, oh, come on. It just disappeared. Well, that's interesting. Anyhow, it's a participation activity, and it's due on Friday night. And my wife just got home, so the dogs will be barking in 1 second. Okay, now we're back. And that may happen throughout the semester. No guarantees about that, but they're okay. So anyhow, so here's our Zybook stuff, and you can see it's all organized by week, so it should be really easy for you to keep track of. And the grades for all these different activities, so participation activities, the challenge activities, and the Xylabs. Here's a Xylab. That's Xylab week 3, so you can see when it's due. That'll all be maintained within the Zybook itself. So you guys can keep track of all the grades, and I would encourage you to check the grades as you go and make sure that it's got them correct. It has been known to have mistakes before. It's just a web application, and so if you did something like work through your, let's see, let's go to this one, and you work through the different participation activities, and here's this, and here's your first participation activity, and you did what you needed to do, and oh, incorrect, let's try this one down here, oh, that one's correct. You can change these things around and everything, and then you think, oh, I'm all done with this one, so you hit the X. Well, remember, this is a web application, so maybe it sent the information back to the Zybook servers, maybe it didn't. You need to be smart about this, and you know how web applications work, but keep track of it as you go also. So anyhow, there's that. That's the Zybook. Like I said, I think you'll find it pretty easy to work with, and we're going to work with this until spring break, and then we're going to be pretty much done with the Zybook, and here's our spring break, and then after the spring break, we'll begin working in Google's BigQuery. Okay, so these are all of the parts of the Zybook that we're going to use for the class. All this other stuff, well, it's optional. And but rather than delete it and not give you access to it, you paid your $80. If you want to look at it, that's up to you, but it's not going to be part of the class. So there's that. So that's what we're going to have. Office hours, I'm on campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's probably the best place to get in touch with me. My office phone is really my personal cell phone. Since nobody was using the office phones anymore. Does anybody use office phones anymore? They've kind of taken them out, and now we're supposed to provide our own cell phones. So there's my cell phone number. Please be kind. Don't call me on weekends and stuff. And then we can do Zoom appointments. We can do all that kind of stuff. I know you guys are distance. I've been teaching distance courses for decades now, and so I'm used to the way this all works, and I'm used to the flexibility that I have to show for this, and that's okay. So we'll figure this out. It'll all work out. It'll all be fine. So the course overview, week 1 to week 9, and that's just after the spring break, we're going to be working in the Zybook. Great. The remainder of the course, we're going to be using Google's BigQuery and Data Looker Studio. Data Looker Studio is kind of like Tableau, except it's free and it doesn't have all the wacky licensing that Tableau does. I hate Tableau's licensing, as you can probably tell from my voice. And you know, I have used Tableau before, and in classes and stuff, and it's nothing but a pain. So why not use the free one that works great and is easy to interact with? So that's what we'll do. And so then our main assignments for the class, we've got these iBook things and all that kind of stuff. Then we've got our BigQuery assignment, and you'll notice that is due on 3/21. And let me find my calendar here. So that's due on 3/21. Here's our spring break in the middle of March. Woohoo! Everybody off to Miami, right? Or wherever it is. So there's our spring break. It's still going to be snowy and cold here in Rochester, but if it's nice where you are, great. Then we have our BigQuery assignment is due the following week after the spring break. And so we'll talk about BigQuery. We'll, give you some stuff. It's pretty straightforward stuff. And then what you'll notice is that your final exam is posted the end of March. So the 25th. And then that will be due on the 29th. Now your final exam is going to have both a practical aspect to it where you'll have to do something using SQL, probably MySQL on your desktop, but if you want to use something else, we'll talk about different architectures. And then our course, the exam part that kind of draws to a close the part of the class that's about lectures and things. After that, we work on your group project proposal, and that is due on the 1st of April. And so this is where you'll be working on a project, and like I said, I think you'll find it a lot of fun. And it starts out with a proposal that's due on the 1st. Then I will give you feedback by the 3rd, and that'll either be written feedback, or if you'd like to meet with me, that's fine. We can do it via Zoom, whatever. And then I give you 2 weeks to work on this project. Now, the reason I do that is because this is an important thing. And rather than, hammer you to just do it outside of your own class and do all the regular classwork on top of a project, what I try and do is to say, all right, let's get the final exam done and out of the way so you don't have to think about that side of the class anymore. But instead, now you can focus on doing what's probably much more interesting to you, and that's working on your own, group. You're going to be working as part of a group project. And I give you 2 weeks to work on that because that's how much work I expect to go into it. And then what happens is that the main deliverable from this project, and remember, you're in a graduate program, and you have to end up writing a big, graduate project, and so you'll have 2 deliverables coming out of this project. One is a presentation that you'll do as part of your group. Everybody will get together and you'll record it and probably post it to YouTube or something like that. I use YouTube a lot because it's just easier for me. And then you'll have a report that's due about this. Now that report is basically taking your proposal and assuming that the project worked out the way you expected it to, you'll take that proposal, which is, in a proposal you're saying, this is what I plan to do. The report is different. The proposal's in the future tense, the report is in the past tense. So you start out with this is what I plan to do, and then you end up with this is what I did. So what you'll do is you'll start with your proposal, add sections about what you found, and what worked and what didn't work and all those kind of things. And we'll talk about this as the course goes. And then you'll submit a written report to me about your project. And because you're going to be doing data looker and all that kind of stuff, there'll probably be lots of visual aspects to it, not just words. And it should be kind of interesting for you. So that's kind of the project. And so here are the deliverables for the project. And you've got due dates and things in there also. This will all be coordinated through my courses. The course rhythm, how is this course going to work? Well, I'll post short videos. This is a long video. So short ones should be 12, maybe 15 minutes, but that's it. I'll post those on Mondays, and then you'll have your PAs, your participation activities. Those will be due on Tuesday, and then your CAs, your challenge activities in the Zybook. These two are in the Zybook. Will be due on Thursdays, and then the Zy Labs will be due on, I think those are Fridays, but you'll see all the due dates and everything. Nothing's hidden, it's all right there. And the reason why I do it in this case, what you'll probably end up doing is you'll probably end up working through the Zybook material all at once, and you'll do the PAs and CAs at the same time. Why? Why not? You're there, it's easier, just get it over with. Fine. But if you want to stretch it out a little bit, which, by the way, is a good learning technique, it's good to touch the material multiple times per week, then you can. And, if you're, behind and in a rush and you can just get the PAs done on time, fine. The CAs aren't due for a couple of days. You got lots of time, not a problem. But anyhow, and that's how we'll do that. And then the final exam is going to be based on that Zybook material and the lectures and the one big query assignment, but that's about it. Course deliverables. Here's a list of the deliverables and due dates and things that you'll have to get through, so we've got 3 sets of Zy Labs. Those are due on Fridays, and whatever, there it is. And then our group project, use BigQuery, Data Looker Studio, and public data sets, and we'll talk about which ones are available. There's gazillions of them, and it's totally awesome, and you're going to love it. But it does have a learning curve associated with it. The group, all right, so hundreds of data sets available. Group sizes between 1 and 5. Now, the reason I've got a hard limit on 5 is that we're going to use Microsoft's Azure DevOps as a coordinating tool. And Azure DevOps, the free license that we have, has a limit of group sizes of 5. So it's my requirement because I don't want the groups to get too big, but it's also Microsoft and what Bill Gates says we do, right? And I think you'll like Azure DevOps. It's a great tool to coordinate group activities, and we'll talk about that as we go too. So the process for your group project, proposal prepared using Azure DevOps project management tools. We'll see how that works. I'll review what you propose to do and give you feedback. Most of the time, my feedback to students is you're proposing to do too much. You only have 2 weeks to get this thing done. Cut it back. Let's try and be, get more focused. I have about 2 weeks work on the project, and then you create a 20-minute presentation, post it to YouTube so that the rest of the class can see it as well as me, and then you'll have your report that's due too, which I forgot to add to there, but there, now it's done. So that's how the class is going to work. look for my videos to be posted every Monday or thereabouts. And those will be posted to YouTube, and I think everything will work out fine for you. So things to do now: get that book and start working through things. You've got your first assignment is due on Friday, which is weird that it's due on Friday, but because it's the first week, I'm trying to be gentle, and then we'll get into a rhythm, and you'll get used to all the due dates and things. I try and be very structured in the way that I do due dates so that people get a rhythm together and just do their thing as it fits into your lives, and I know how busy you guys are, so we'll try and make this happen. And welcome to the course, everybody, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.